In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
It's been quite a year for UFO enthusiasts, a golden age for revelations.
On one of the targeting pod, you can see something, I can't tell if it's metallic or what, and there's, I can see like lines coming down below, but I can't see anything below it.
We had 4 UFOs shot down over America and Canada.
One object was taken out today, another yesterday. This brings the total to 4 in the last 8 days. A U.S. military jet brought down the latest one over Lake Huron this afternoon. That lake is on the border between Michigan and Ontario, Canada. F-16s from the Wisconsin Air National Guard shot down the object. The debris landed in Canadian waters, and now U.S. and Canadian crews are working to recover it.
Russia shot down a UFO over Ukraine.
Russian air defenses, Melissa, did say that they shot down a UFO. They actually released some video of it. We're looking at it here. This was reportedly shot down in the Rostov area near the Ukraine border. The governor of this Russian region said the UFO was a small-sized object in the shape of a ball and was flying roughly 1.5 miles high in the sky on January 3rd when the decision was made to shoot it down.
Aliens landed in Las Vegas, sparking a huge police operation.
The fireball captured on a police body cam on the night of April 30th was real.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working at a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light, and when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one beside it, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky? Yeah. We got a call, and one of my partners actually said that they saw it too. So, if you happen to see any, like, I'm not BSing you. If you see any
footage?
No, like if you see any like little, well, not little in this case. They're claiming 8 to 9 foot tall green beings that were in their backyard. Sounds crazy, but you never know.
I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force, UAPTF, and eventually, once it was established, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs.
A government whistleblower, David Krusch, told an inquiry at the House of Congress of secret organisations within the government that were studying captured and recovered space vehicles of non-human origin.
Aft stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
One of the biggest stories of the year for us wasn't the US military renaming UFOs as UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena, but the news story that Bolton, a large town in Lancashire, had become one of the UK's biggest UAP hotspots, in particular the rugged area around Winter Hill. We sent our cameras to the area and let the team explain what was going on.
What I've noticed, especially in the northwest, whether you go from Burnley, Todmorden, over to Ilkley, and then where these UFOs have been seen, there's like a corridor which they seem to be following. Whether it be the Pennines or the hills or the mountain ranges, that's what it seems to be. And whether that's a route that they used for energy, or is it ley lines, I'm not sure. But there seems to be a corridor. When they're seen, they're always in an area and you could triangulate it. I'm not sure whether the crafts need or use energy from the Earth when they're here, and that's a way of doing it, undetected. Yeah, they are seen in towns and this, that, the other, but I bet they're not far off from where these corridors are, you know, if you look and you map it out.
I think it's such a hotbed of activity due to the fact that we have a unique geology. So what the stone below the ground is, so granite and quartz is very good for emitting energy. But I do believe the central ley line, and if you're not sure what a ley line is, it's just a line of earth energy. It runs from the bottom of the UK, and when it gets to around about the Jodrell Bank area, it splits. And I believe that's why we have so many reports in Winter Hill, and we have them in Todmorden as well.
If we look at the geology of the area, for instance, you've got hotspots such as Pendle Hill, where there have been numerous sightings over the years. The geology of Pendle Hill is quite unique in that it's sandstone surrounded by limestone, and there are certain theories that this can produce electromagnetic fields which sort of act basically as a huge magnet to bring in these types of aerial phenomena that some people call UFOs.
Maybe the granite stonework, that's obviously, we've got the Pennines, you know, is it to do with what basically is under the ground? You know, is it some kind of earth magnetism, or maybe the ley lines that cross everywhere?
I have heard that there's like a magnetic anomaly out at sea, and there've been trawlers that have lost all the bearings and ended up, they've got to somewhere an hour and a half before they should have done, or there's some sort of magnetic belt, I think, sort of out at that area, so down from north down to Bridlington way, I think. So I don't know, that could have a lot to do with it.
There are also a number of ley lines which intersect in the northwest. Again, one of the larger intersections between north-south and an east-west ley line is again pretty close to Pendle Hill. So you've got basically you've got the two factors, one of the geology and also one of the ley lines. You also look at other areas as well, such as Winter Hill, which near Bolton, which has had a number of UFO sightings over the years, and also some quite interesting cryptid activity as well. Again, there are certain beliefs that these areas are, because of the geology of the area, it's producing magnetic fields, which is bringing this type of phenomena in. There are also places such as Caton Moor near Skipton in North Yorkshire. Again, there's an awful lot of UFO activity and paranormal activity in these areas, and it could well be that these magnetic fields are opening portals that the craft are coming through, or they could be acting as I said, huge magnets in effect, which again are bringing these phenomena and these crafts into those areas.
You've got Wales going out towards the west, Scotland in the north, so it's like in that corridor coming down from, I suppose, from like Greenland, North Pole, and just coming in that way to enter into Europe.
Another area of interest actually is Morecambe Bay. There have been a lot of sightings over Morecambe Bay over the years, and again some of them going back to the 1930s and before that, and they all tend to be the triangular type of craft. Now again, Morecambe Bay is quite a special area in geological terms. It's a tidal estuary, quite a large area of tidal estuary. I do believe that there's a lot of energy involved with water as well, both UFO and paranormal. And obviously the tide is coming in twice a day, filling the bay with water. It's bringing energy into the bay, and that again could possibly be one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of these triangular UFOs. There is also another reason I believe, and that's the fact that Sellafield and Heysham Power Station, both nuclear facilities, are in the Morecambe Bay area, and certainly Sellafield, which is decommissioning nuclear material. Again, you have to ask yourself, are these craft coming down and drawing energy from there?
When I was 7 in the school field, there was a period of time through the year where you were allowed on the school field. So it would have been summertime. Me and my best friend were out on the school field with the rest of the school, and we were just playing, making daisy chains or something like that. And I remember hearing this loud but low, deep humming noise. And I said, I wasn't looking up. I said to my friend, "What's that?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know." We carried on playing and it got louder, and I looked up and this craft was above us. Now, I've written a couple of books about my experiences, and in the book where I mentioned this, I got it wrong. I said it was about 100 foot high. It's only this last year that I was talking to my friend and she said, "Oh, our house is 42 foot. And I looked at her roof and I thought, that must have been another 8 foot above. It must have been 50 foot above us. And all I can remember is it was huge, it took up the sky, it was mirrored mosaic tiles all over it, and it was from the side it was sausage shaped, so it was a disc. The perimeter where we were playing in the middle, all the other kids were on the outside edge. There was no kid underneath this apart from me and my mate at the time. I remember looking up and seeing there was symbols underneath it. The only one that I can remember was like a trident, you know, the three-pronged fork with a tick on the bottom. That's the only one that I can remember. And it kept the same trajectory, it kept the same speed. It was going really slow, but it was loud, definitely loud. And it went, and we watched it, and it went over the trees and out of sight. It didn't speed up, didn't zoom off, didn't do anything. It just completely glided away.
Lots of them, we can account for them, you know, they're shooting stars or they're meteorites. But when you debunk everything and you're still left with this sighting, we have to look at it as an anomaly, or real, we have to investigate it.
You're dealing with something that is operating on a whole different level than our physical level, which is why a lot of these experiencers, the beings or entities that they're dealing with, I don't necessarily feel are physical beings from another star system flying across the galaxy. They could be interdimensional, coming from a different reality, a different dimension, or they could even be operating on a vibrational level that's higher than our three-dimensional reality that we're currently in. And it's almost similar to the spiritual plane. Maybe it's somewhere in between.
I think some technology that we see, that we claim as a UAP or a UFO, is possibly governmental, and we don't understand it, very much like the Black Triangle. In the 80s, it was seen as the ultimate UFO. Now we understand that we have that. What I don't understand is the jump in technology. So we've gone from Spitfires and planes like that instantly within 15, 20 years to being on the moon. And that doesn't equate for me. I do believe that a lot of what people see are not of this earth. I think they are alien and they come from the galaxy somewhere. But I think some are dimensional. I think some people see things and we just put it as an alien because we don't have an understanding of it, what you're seeing. You're left with a witness who's seen something for the first time with no understanding of what they're seeing.
Some governments of this world possibly have received technology from them. Now, if you go back 100 years, we was going around in horse and cart, to be fair. Well, a little bit over 100 years. And the advancements, especially from the Roswell incident, have been immense, haven't they? You look at it, it's like we're flying, we're sending rockets into space, apparently. You know, so it's like, we've come a long way, haven't we? You know, in this last 100 years, so, yeah.
Well, there are certainly theories that there has been reverse engineering over the years, and from the late 1940s onwards, there seemed to be quite an explosion of technology, so things such as microchips and you know, things like the internet and that sort of thing, which seemed to coincide with, certainly the big one at the time was Roswell, but of course there's been our own Roswell, which is Rendlesham Forest in the early 1980s. And so it is entirely possible that governments have recovered downcraft. I think there's been downcraft all over the world.
I think there is going to be some type of disclosure maybe in the next year or two regarding UFOs. And in fact, I'm sure, don't quote me on this, but one of the NASA employees come out with the triangle UFO. It's not ours, it don't belong to us. It's not of this world, they reckon. That's the only incident that they've really come out and said, this doesn't belong to any of us. So, I think they're slowly getting us used to the idea, rather than these UFOs all of a sudden turning up and then everyone's going to shit bricks. Basically, they're going to be really, really scared. Yeah, they're slowly feeding us this information, so when they do appear, we're going to not be as panicked. We're still going to be panicked, but I think they're going to be on our side. They're not going to be able to destroy us.
Well, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and if you'd like to join in the debate, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, I'm Roy Basnett, and this has been our Unexplained World.